Namaskar, my friends! Today we take a detour from Transformers and step into a galaxy far, far away. Instead of Optimus Prime, I'm reviewing Anakin Skywalker from the Ahsoka series. Hayden Christensen brought to life in the Star Wars Black series for the 5th time or the 6th time. Anyway, this review covers everything from the figure itself to the packaging details. And speaking of packaging, the front window display showcasing Anakin and his lightsaber. Yes, looks pretty good. Clone War colors right there. And from the first impression, looks quite screen accurate. The side of the box shows a render of Hayden Christensen. And the back of the box shows the same render, but this time with a character bio. So in case you want to read it, go ahead, pause and read it right now. And the other side has a transparent panel that lets in light for a premium display look. After a shipping mix-up with Swedish customs, Big Bad Toy Store came through with top-notch customer service, and now the figure is finally in hand. Is this Black Series release worth adding to your Star Wars collection? Let's find out. Before we dive into the figure itself, let's check out Anakin Skywalker's accessories. And yes, he comes with his trusty lightsaber. A familiar mold we have seen several times in the Black Series line, but this one is nicely painted and sculpted with all the details in the right places. The blade looks good too, maybe a little thick, that's what she said. But overall, it works really, really well. Anakin holds it securely, no flimsy grip, and the fit is snug, and the lightsaber won't be dropping out of his hands mid-battle. The blade is also removable, so you can pull it out and attach the hilt to his belt. Just like in the Clone Wars, which this uniform is based on, as seen in the Ahsoka series, a nice touch for us collectors who love screen accuracy. However, like most Black Series releases, this one falls short when it comes to accessories. No force hand, no extra gun holding hands, nothing. It's honestly a little disappointing. I mean, at this point, it almost feels like a running joke. Hasbro knows collectors will buy these figures regardless, so they cut corners wherever they can. It's frustrating because a few extra accessories would go a long way in making these figures truly dynamic, especially for collectors who enjoy posing and diorama setups. Still, we make do with what we get for now. Now, let's take a closer look at the figure itself, and I have to say, he looks pretty good. Pretty good in my opinion, at least. Of course, I do have a few nitpicks because, let's face it, I always do. First off, I think I may have placed the lightsaber wrong on his belt. The hilt should face upward, so this one's on me. But aside from my display mistake, there are some design quirks. The shoulder armor sits a little too high on his neck and shoulders, which makes them look slightly drooped. Ideally, the pads should sit a bit higher to match the on-screen armor placement, but this looks very weird. The shoulders look very drooped. I don't know whether this was an aesthetic choice by the creative team, or I don't think the design looks like this. So this is something I don't quite like. That said, the uniform itself looks great. The cloth goods wrapped around him give a nice Jedi Knight vibe, and the sculpted details are well done. The boots, possibly a reuse, I think, though I'm not 100% sure. But they are cleanly sculpted, as are the gauntlets on his arms, which feature fine detailing that adds to the figure's overall presence. The Republic logo is also very nicely sculpted, which is a great touch. After all, the Jedi were a part of the Grand Army of the Republic, so it fits perfectly. The colors on this figure also look good. In the show, they were slightly muted, and that carries over here as well, giving it a screen-accurate appearance, and that I really appreciate. That said, my main gripe still lies with the chest and shoulder armor. The chest guard sits a bit too high, which throws off the proportions slightly, more than slightly. The shoulder pads do try to compensate, but aesthetically it feels off. Not a deal breaker, but definitely noticeable. Now let's take a closer look at the face sculpt, and yes, you can see Hayden Christensen here. It's not a perfect likeness, but it's definitely recognizable. Under the right lighting, the resemblance becomes stronger, and I think Hasbro has done a decent job overall. Still, it could have been a bit sharper. But from what I've seen, the SDCC exclusive 2-pack features a much better sculpt of Hayden Christensen. Definitely a stronger representation. But for a standard release, this one's not too bad. The hair sculpt is also impressive. It has fine detailing. A slight wash, I think, to bring out the texture and the color tone that feels true to the show. I particularly like how the parting is styled, just like the Anakin in Clone Wars series, adding to the figure's screen accuracy. Now let's take a look at his articulation. Starting with the head, it barely looks up, which is disappointing for a Jedi who should be dynamic in his poses. It does look down a bit, and there's some side-to-side tilt, but the joint fights against natural movement. It sort of wants to fight back. Anyway, the shoulders reach about 90 degrees in a T-pose, at least on the left side. After a little extra push, there's no bicep cut, but we do get butterfly joints, which are a big win. They work on both sides and really help with lightsaber poses. Elbows, sadly, we are stuck with single jointed elbows. That's right, folks. The very outdated single jointed elbows for this line, and disappointing given how far figure engineering has come. The wrist swivel move in and out, which feels odd for a lightsaber wielder. A vertical hinge would have made more sense, but Hasbro being Hasbro went with the lazy choice. As for the torso, the ab crunch offers limited forward and backward movement with a bit of side to side range. Not great, but workable. The shoulder pads are a separate piece attached to the armor, which at least allows for better arm movement without major obstruction. Now, for the leg articulation. He can technically do the splits, though barely is the word here. There's a thigh swivel. Thank you, Hasbro, for at least that. And double jointed knees, which work well enough but look very ugly. Sadly, there's no boot swivel. The ankles, however, do a decent job. They tilt back and forward nicely, have a good range of side-to-side motion. Overall, the articulation is standard for Black Series, but with some creativity, you can still get Anakin into some solid poses, as you can see on screen. For scaling, here's Anakin with the rest of his mates, and of course his future self. The best part about this figure is you can easily recreate some of the Clone Wars scenes, as you can see, as well as some Ahsoka scenes if you like the Ahsoka series. And I also did a little bit of toy photography as well, with a 501st clone trooper and Captain Rex by his side fighting a certain battle. So, is this figure worth it? It's a decent release, not perfect, but serviceable. If you're a diehard Anakin or Clone Wars fan, it's a worthy addition. But if you want the best likeness, try to grab the SDCC exclusive 2-pack if you can still find it, because it's sold out everywhere. Alright, that's my review. If you enjoyed it, smash that like button harder than Anakin smash the Jedi code. Drop a comment, share it with fellow collectors, and of course, subscribe for more toy talk and cinematic sarcasm. Till all are one, may the force be with you. May your packages never take a scenic trip through Sweden. Ciao.